Sailing on the sea with the Disney Cruise Line has been an unbelievable experience, and I've got to tell you, I cannot wait to get back on board again. But I've been asked by several friends, Michael, after you've completed the Grand Slam, which means I've been on every single one of Disney's ships, what have I learned from these experiences, and how can I pass this knowledge on to you? That's what today's video is all about. Let's dive right in. The most common question I get about this topic, Michael, which ship is the best? Is it the Wonder? Is it the Fantasy? Is it the Dream? Could it be the Magic? Believe it or not, that's actually not the first thing I think about when I think about Disney cruising. First thing, where is it going? If it's a Caribbean cruise, more often than not, I'm going to make sure that the box that says Castaway Cay is checked. I really want to go back to that island. It is my favorite destination outside of Walt Disney World for the Disney Cruise Line. It's unbelievable. Unlike anything I've ever experienced before, and every time I go, I can't wait to get back. Of course, there are going to be Disney cruises that do not go to Castaway Cay, some that leave out of Miami, of course the ones that go to Alaska and everything on the West Coast, those don't go to Castaway Cay, but many of the ones in the Caribbean do. So if it goes to the Caribbean, I'm looking for Castaway Cay. The next thing that I'll consider is the length of the cruise. More often than not, I'll be looking for 5 or 7 days, just because I really enjoy those longer adventures. But I have friends who've done the back-to-back ones or prefer shorter adventures combined with Walt Disney World. It's just another piece that I like to kind of play into the puzzle and put near the top. How long is this adventure? Now, in addition to that, I also think about which port it is leaving from. If it's leaving from Port Canaveral, since I live really close to it, I'll just drive out there the day of the cruise. If it's a different port, I might have to get a hotel there. I've got to think about those logistics. So more often than not, I'm aiming for Port Canaveral just because it's easy and convenient. But I do like Miami too. I'm looking forward to sailing out of there again soon. At that point, I might start considering which ship I want to go on. But usually, after I've chosen all those things, the list has really been quieted down a little bit. Usually it's not the Magic, that's over in Europe. Sometimes it's the Dream, but more often than not, that's shorter cruises. So we have the Fantasy and the Wonder left. Of course, love all the ships, but if you're talking about the different things that I like, longer cruises, Caribbean, Castaway Cay, Fantasy and Wonder do that a lot. So of course that plays into the question, which ship is my favorite? Now I love all the ships. They're all unique in their own way and we're going to get back to that in a moment. But if I had to rank them at the time of filming, the Wonder's on top, followed by the Fantasy, the Dream, and then the Magic. Not because I don't like any of the ships, just because my experiences with them have put them in that order. So Wonder on top, Fantasy, Dream, Magic. They're all magical though. Now with all of that being said, is that all that I would consider when it comes to a Disney cruise? Not even close. If you're new to cruising, let's say you have someone in your family who loves Rapunzel, I would recommend you go on the Magic, right? Like immediately. Doesn't matter the length of the cruise, anything like that. Someone in your family loves Rapunzel, they're going to love Rapunzel's Royal Table and the stage show on the Magic, so that would be my priority at that point. On the other hand, if someone in your family cannot get enough of Frozen, I would go immediately to the Wonder or the Fantasy because of the stage show on board. It's unbelievable. Maybe someone in your family cannot get enough of Tiana and has been wanting to meet Tiana for the longest time. Go to the Wonder. I'm telling you, I love the dining experience with Tiana, with the jazz music playing, Tiana walking around. It is unbelievable on the Wonder. I have so enjoyed those specific themes on board, and I can see the appeal to those different stories. You want to go Frozen or Tiana, whoever it is, you can go right there. And it goes a step further for those special days at sea, Marvel and Star Wars Day at Sea. If you love Marvel, you're the biggest Marvel fan out there, I would recommend Marvel Day at Sea. It is unbelievable, out of this world. I've been once, I want to go again. That's how much I loved it. And the show at the end, I mean, I wouldn't miss any of it. I really wouldn't. You can watch the vlog all about it, but the show at the end of the night was just unreal. Unreal. Loved every moment. Star Wars Day at Sea is a ton of fun as well, especially if you have your own custom built lightsaber. You want to take those really cool pictures in front of different backgrounds or with characters. It is a ton of fun. That one's only found on the Fantasy. So it goes to show these different cruises and different cruise ships have different themes to them. You've got to pick the one that you like most. Now, if you're not interested in the theme, let's say, you know what, all of those sound great to me. I don't really mind. Even the Christmas ones are great. Any of them. If that's how you feel about it, then Then we get to the staterooms. How do you prioritize that? On our first Disney cruise together, we had the family ocean view stateroom. I gotta tell you, first time cruising, I recommend a veranda. I really do, and I didn't think I would say this, I really didn't, but I really recommend it just because it kind of throws you into all of what cruising is. You get to experience every aspect of cruising on that very first cruise, and then after that, you can modify it. We had that veranda, and then I started to move toward the ocean view with the porthole and inside staterooms. We've tried all three of those different categories. There are more to try in the future, but we tried those three. I gotta tell you, love them all, including the navigator's veranda, kind of blocked off navigator view, but still really nice. But if I had to pick today, I would go towards veranda. It's not what I said in the past, but it's what I'm saying now. This is something that I actually had to learn. The very first cruise, veranda, I recommend it. Second, third, fourth, fifth cruise, you may want ocean view or inside, just because you may want to kind of spend your time and energy outside of the room. Somehow that prioritization has shifted. So at first it was the room, now it's outside the room, and as I'm getting into the 6th, 7th, 8th cruises here, I can see myself gravitating back toward the room a little bit more. Not full time, obviously, but when it comes to that relaxation piece, I love to kind of just sit back, relax with that view of the ocean. So it does depend on you, but that's really interesting to see. At first you want to spend all your time outside, now I want to spend a little bit more time inside the room. I have a feeling it's going to switch back again, but you just kind of roll with the waves, as it were. If you're looking to just get your feet wet, pun intended, I would recommend the veranda. Any of the verandas are fantastic. If you don't want to have that open space, maybe you're a little wearisome of the water and seeing it at night, which can be a little scary, absolutely seeing a pitch black outside a little bit, then the ocean view where you can see outside are also really nice. Something very interesting that I learned from cruising on every single one of Disney's cruise ships is that the personality of the ship, I said that right, personality of the ship, is directly impacted by the cast members and crew who are working on board. Now, I don't want you to think that, oh, this ship is better than that ship just because these different cast and crew members. It's just different, just different. One example that I like to use is there was one time we were on board and we had a server who was just saying, you can have as much as you want, enjoy it, anything from any menu, you just ask me and I'll get it for you. And another server who was saying something similar but in a different way. He was saying, oh, you know, your favorite dessert will make it special for you. It was a different way. They're saying the same thing, but in a different way. Like personalities are different. Same way, just kind of modifies that cruise experience a little bit. I'm telling you, the cast and crew make it complete. Lucky for us, the cast and crew move from ship to ship all the time. They're doing transfers, they're moving around, want to try new things. So you get to make friends across many different ships. And if you've cruised a lot of times, you start to recognize faces and names and see old friends as you step back on board. Something else that I think is very important that I pass on to you that I've learned after a few cruises here, the photos that you take with that photo service on board that you can order in advance or while you're on board only include photos of everyone in that one stateroom. As an example, if you have part of your family in one stateroom and the other part of your family in another stateroom, if just a couple people or individual people take photos at the same time, you only get the photos from the individuals in the one stateroom with the photo package. So for example, boys room and girls room. Just as an example, let's say the boys took a photo together and the girls took a photo together. Then you wouldn't get the girls' photo. But if the whole family takes a picture together, you get the photo because it includes the people inside the one stateroom that have the photo package linked. Very important. No matter which one of the Disney cruise ships you choose, no matter what your itinerary is, there is no doubt it's going to be magical. But if you want more information about what to see, what to do, where to eat, all those great things, you can find that information and more and the vlogs right there and on my channel. Those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. What are your lessons learned from being on board, or maybe you've never been on board before and something in particular that you are really looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.